Whether Kamala Harris loses the US presidential race over her stance on Gaza, we shall see in a few days' time. And I've said already that if she loses, it's on her. She has continued to support the arming and funding of the Israeli war machine despite endless civilians being killed and kids being killed. And sadly, it's hard to imagine that things would get much better if Vice President Harris becomes President Harris. But if Donald Trump wins on November the 5th, are things going to get better or worse for the Palestinians in Gaza? It's not a question we tend to ask, even though if you care about the Palestinians, shouldn't you also care about what or who comes after Biden and Harris? On Friday, Donald Trump made it very clear that he plans to let Benjamin Netanyahu do even more killing than he's currently doing under the Democrats. Don't take my word for it. Just listen to him speak about his pal Bibi.
Well, look, he's doing a good job. Biden is trying to hold him back. Just so you understand, Biden is far superior to the VP. He's trying to hold him back, and he probably should be doing the opposite, actually. I'm glad that Bibi decided to do what he had to do.
Got that? Biden is holding Netanyahu back, and he, Trump, will let him free. No limits, no constraints whatsoever. And look, that really shouldn't surprise us. I know that we're all amnesiacs in this country and we have memory-holed the Trump presidency and all its awfulness, but Donald Trump, by the time he left office, was indisputably the most pro-Israeli, anti-Palestinian president in US history. We don't need to rehabilitate or whitewash Donald Trump in order to critique Biden or Harris. I mean, do I really need to remind you that Trump was the president who moved the US embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, who shut down the PLO office in Washington, D.C., who first cut off funding to UNRWA, who signed off on what was the biggest financial aid package to Israel at that time, who announced for the first time that Israeli settlements in the occupied West Bank, illegal settlements under international law, were no longer illegal in the eyes of the United States, who approved Israel's illegal annexation of Syria's Golan Heights, which resulted in Israel naming a settlement there, the Trump Heights, and making him the only president in US history to have an illegal Israeli settlement literally named after him. But forget the past, as bad as it was for Palestinians in Trump term one. Let's just consider what could be coming down the line for the Palestinians in a second Trump term. Gaza is gone. The killing will continue, and Trump's son-in-law and former go-to man on the Middle East, Jared Kushner, told an interviewer in March that Israel should, quote, bulldoze something in the Negev desert and forcibly expel the Palestinians there so that Israel can take advantage of Gaza's, quote, very valuable waterfront property. The West Bank is gone too. Far-right anti-Arab Israeli-American billionaire Miriam Adelson has given Trump an astonishing $100 million, and in return she's asked for him to allow Israel to annex the West Bank, all of it. Iran will also be in the crosshairs. Trump just the other week said Israel should hit Iran's nuclear facilities and, quote, worry about the rest later. Trump also wants to ban Palestinian refugees from entering the US.
I will ban refugee resettlement from terror-infested areas like the Gaza Strip.
And he's not just going to stop Palestinian people from coming in, he's going to throw pro-Palestinian people already here out, especially foreign students protesting for Gaza on campus.
And we will deport the foreign jihad sympathizers and Hamas supporters from our midst. We will get them out.
They say personnel is policy. Look at who Trump will have around him. Not just Jared Kushner, who's a family friend of Netanyahu's going back decades, and not just Miriam Adelson, but also his former ambassador to Israel, the far-right David Friedman, who says Trump has a biblical duty to support the annexation of the West Bank. Oh, and let's not forget about all his fellow Republicans in Congress who loathe the Palestinians. Remember, Trump is a racist who openly hates Palestinians. He uses Palestinian as a pejorative, a smear, as an insult to hurl at his opponents.
And you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian.
Chuck Schumer has become a Palestinian. Yes, can you believe it? He's become a proud member of Hamas.
Look, I get it. Harris and Biden have been awful on Palestine. But genuine question, do we really want Jared Kushner, David Friedman, and Miriam Adelson deciding the fate of Gaza come January 20th, 2025? I don't. But you know who does? The most far-right members of the current Israeli government. Ministers like Amichai Shikli, who has endorsed Trump over Harris, and the racist Itamar Ben-Gvir, who says openly that Trump would be better for Israel than the Democrats, suggesting that Trump wouldn't make them give any humanitarian aid at all to Gaza. See, the people doing the genocide, Ben-Gvir, Chikli, Netanyahu too, they know that Biden and Harris have been good to them, but they also know Trump will be even better. A President Trump in 2025 will give them the freedom they so desperately desire to, in Trump's own encouraging words, finish the job.